Making Modern Women explores women's magazines between the two world wars to discover what it meant to be a modern woman. The exhibition marks the centenary of a feminist magazine called Time and Tide, which was launched by Lady Rhondda, who was a former suffragette, businesswoman and journalist. We also mark the centenary of the 6 Point Group, which was also founded by Lady Rhondda in 1921. The interwar years are often seen as a kind of waiting room where women are waiting between one war and the next. However, this is far from the truth if you look at the magazines of the time.
One of Time and Tide's advertising straplines was the Modern Weekly for the Modern Woman, and it was an agenda-setting magazine for interwar feminism. Time and Tide was also enormously important for women's writing of the interwar period. According to contributor Naomi Mitchison, it was the first avowedly feminist literary journal of any class, in some ways ahead of its time. Women's magazines in the interwar period were deeply engaged with books and with reading culture, and acted as important reading materials themselves. This section of the exhibition surveys a range of women's magazines aimed at different classes of women readers and contains some surprising discoveries. For example, Naomi Royd Smith, during her brief editorship of The Queen, published modernist authors such as Dorothy Richardson, as we can see in this bill of contents, a striking departure from the conventional romantic fiction usually printed in this elite society magazine.
The First World War did much to shift expectations about women's appearance. Large numbers of women, in terms of their dress, looked very different in 1939 from women in 1914. We see shifting hemlines, exposed knees, and shorter hairstyles. The women's magazines did much to teach women about how to be modern by offering them new modes of consumption and giving them advice about how to care for their physical appearance.
During the interwar years, there was a boom in domestic magazines which targeted mostly women who did their own housework. Titles like Woman's Weekly, Good Housekeeping and Woman's Own offer useful information about the daily lives of their readers and how these lives were changing. Agony columns like this one give insights into changing attitudes towards sex and relationships, for instance. Domestic magazines also targeted working readerships, recognising that most readers had paid jobs between leaving school and getting married. Articles like Chats on Careers in Woman's Weekly offered practical employment advice. Others made readers aware of the new opportunities opening up to women at the time.
One of the big campaigns of the 1920s was the Campaign for Equal Franchise, which was finally achieved in July 1928. And the Women's Freedom League celebrated by reprinting this Punch cartoon entitled Free and Independent. It's looking back at front covers like this that you see the importance of independence for women at this time and in the importance of their fight for political independence. The idea of being a modern, internationally minded global citizen can be found in lots of different journals of the time. In the International Women's section of the exhibition, we see titles like Pax International, which show how internationalism and pacifism were key to British interwar feminism. The Women's International League for Peace and Freedom was founded in 1915, and Pax International was its journal, which it started publishing in 1925 when it moved its headquarters to Geneva. And an example of this proactive internationalism can be seen in 1932, when the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom collected over 6 million signatures from around the world and presented them to the World Disarmament Conference that was taking place in Geneva. The exhibition is part of an AHRC-funded project called Time and Tide, Connections and Legacies. Led by Dr Catherine Clay, we curated this exhibition using the rich resource of women's magazines that are held in the Women's Library.